This is a dirge for two veterans by Walt Whitman. The last sunbeam lightly falls from the finished Sabbath upon the pavement. Here and there beyond, it is looking down a new made double grave. Lo, the moon ascending, up from the east, the silvery round moon, beautiful over the housetops, ghastly phantom moon, immense and silent moon. I see a sad procession, and I hear the sound of coming full-keyed bugles. All the channels of city streets, they're flooding with voices and with tears. I hear the great drums pounding and the small drums steady whirring, and every blow of the great convulsive drums strikes me through and through. For the Son is brought with the Father. In the foremost ranks of the fierce assault they fell. Two veterans, Son and Father, dropped together, and the double grave awaits them. Now nearer blow the bugles, and the drums strike more convulsive, and the daylight over the pavement quite has faded, and the strong dead march enwraps me. In the eastern sky uprising, the sorrowful vast phantom moon moves illumined. 'Tis some mother's large transparent face, in heaven brighter growing. O strong dead march, you please me. O moon, immense with your silvery face, you soothe me. O my soldiers twain, O my veterans passing to burial, what do I have that I can give you? The moon gives you light, and the bugles and the drums give you music. And my heart, oh my soldiers, my veterans, my heart gives you love.
Love is what we can give our veterans who've died. Who here personally knew someone who died in the service of our country for principles and for justice? 5, 6, maybe? It's kind of a good thing that so few hands come up, because I take that to mean that we have not lost as many of our family, friends, or neighbors. Once upon a time, this back wall was covered with the names of people who had died in Afghanistan and Iraq. I'm glad to see that those times have passed. Once upon a time, everybody knew at least one person who had given their life for our country and our values. I remember going to high school reunions, and we would talk about members of our class who were killed in service. We would talk of them as if what might have been if they had returned home. It is a good thing that fewer of us know personally anyone who has died for our principles and our beliefs. That we understand such sacrifice intellectually is a good thing. But such pain should no longer be a deeply personal memory. We all need to remember the fallen. Those of us who have raised our hand understand. We need to find some way to give meaning to those who gave everything. I had a friend who was the best man at my sister's wedding. He was a fun guy. I remember him most clearly. The last time I saw him, I was in the military airport in Tokyo, waiting for transportation back to Korea. I was finishing up leave, going back to my unit, and Mike was just out of training, just out of basic training and advanced training, and he was in transit to Vietnam. I was dressed up in my nice dress greens, getting ready to ride a nice soft flight. He was with, hundreds of other guys, all dressed in baggy green fatigues. Somehow we had a conversation in the middle of the airport. He was very afraid of what could happen next. I tried to reassure him that after all, this was the Army, and if you kept your wits about you, everything would be okay. The thing I remember most about our conversation was the fear in his eyes. 2 weeks after our conversation, Mike was killed, standing in line, waiting for dinner. His death was not heroic, and the war was questionable. However, the look in his eyes still haunts me today. Memorial Day is a day for remembering those who gave their future for us. They gave their lives in service to our nation and its values. Memorial Day is more than a holiday. It is a sacred moment of reflection, demonstrated by those who have fought and continue to uphold the values of our country. Their sacrifice has not only been for our nation, but for the ideals that bind us together: freedom, dignity, faith, and hope for future generations. We honor those who never returned, whose sacrifice has ensured the liberties we often take for granted. We remember grieving families, empty chairs at tables, and the quiet strength carried by loved ones who continue to bear the weight of loss. On a personal level, we miss their presence. In a deeper sense, we need to give thanks to them and remember their sacrifice for all the things that we take for granted. In a sense, we can envy them. For what we do to honor their service truly makes them the immortals. Today, we celebrate Memorial Day in a manner not quite as it was originally intended. Most people can't tell the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day. This is not a day we celebrate the service of our veterans. This is a day we remember and celebrate those who have given their lives in support of our nation, justice, and our values. When you think about it, we're talking about our 7 principles. Today, I will tell you about 4 people who were not in the military, who gave their lives for justice, equality, and standing up for the values of human beings. The first one we need to honor is the Reverend James Reeb, a Unitarian minister who died in Selma, Alabama. He was part of the Civil Rights March from Selma to Montgomery. He was attacked by 4 men and beaten to death in March of 1965. The 4 men were charged with his death. Those charged were later acquitted by a jury of their peers. The second person we need to honor is Viola Liuzzo. She was just an average American housewife, a mother of 5 from New Jersey, and a Unitarian. She came to Selma to be part of the effort to ensure justice and freedom for all Americans. She was shot to death in March of 1965 by 4 members of the Ku Klux Klan. 3 members were charged with her murder. Those charged were later acquitted by a jury of their peers. The most shocking thing about her death was the fourth individual. Gary Rowe was a paid informant of the FBI, and he was not charged. And his identity was kept secret by the FBI until 1978. J. Edgar Hoover thought it would make the FBI look bad. Gary Rowe was given immunity from prosecution as a paid informant of the FBI. The third person we need to honor is Renee Good. She lived in Minneapolis. She was trying to interfere with the ICE arrest operation going on in her neighborhood. She was shot and killed, and the ICE agent who did this still works for ICE, only in a different state. Finally, we need to honor Alex Petty. He was a Veterans Administration nurse in Minneapolis. He too was protesting an ICE operation of rounding up illegal immigrants. This disturbing thing about the deaths of Good and Petty is that the FBI has confiscated all of the evidence surrounding the event. The FBI will not release this material to local authorities and contends that there is no chargeable offense, as the ICE agents involved have immunity from local prosecution, citing immunity while acting as a federal officer. What can we do to honor the sacrifices of those who have given their lives for justice, equity, compassion, and for others? We can honor and support their memory by standing for our 7 principles, working to create diversity, equity, and inclusion into our lives and community. We have a Healing Justice Committee, and we have Peace, who can use our support and effort. Let us remember, those who have sacrificed everything, we can make their sacrifices meaningful by doing some of the following: standing for justice, stand witness to questionable events that go on around us all the time. Work to reunite the 100,000 immigrant children who have been separated from their parents by our government. Participate in our government. Ensure that our voices are heard. Vote. Live our 7 Unitarian values. And stand for love. By doing these things, we will make our world a better place, and there can be no more fitting way to honor those who have sacrificed everything. May their memory be blessed, and may those in harm's way return to us safely. Amen.